How y'all doing? This Preacher Man R&B, and this is another DC's Legends of Tomorrow Reviews Fridays. And this week is Season 1, Episode 5. And what happens on this week's episode is, they're still in Soviet Russia in 1986. And what happens is Vandal Savage is about to torture Professor Stein, and Professor Stein's not giving up the information for Firestorm. And, what's happening is, Vandal Savage gets Captain Cold and Ray Palmer to Adam, and he brings them in to where Professor Stein is, and they start torturing him. They start electrocuting him. And Ray Palmer tells Professor Stein not to tell him anything, and they start beating Ray Palmer with the hammer, because that way they wouldn't beat Heatwave. And the reason Ray Palmer does this is because he's trying to show Heatwave that he has his back, because earlier in the episode, Ray Palmer gets beat down by one of these big-time criminals that's in this prison, because he didn't like how Ray Palmer was acting, and he felt threatened, so he beat down Ray Palmer. And Ray Palmer's been pretty banged up this whole episode, and after this happens, Professor Stein says that he'll tell them how to make Firestorm. And what happens is he gives her the formula, and she's not figuring it out until she sees the markings on Professor Stein's arm where Jax had Kendra cut were coming into Jax's arm. That way Professor Stein will have it on his arm like he did with Ronnie Raymond in Season 1 of The Flash. And then she finds out that to get Firestorm, she has to have Professor Stein to fuse with her, and she goes into the reactor and they fuse, and Professor Stein's trying to tell her without the little device that Ronnie Raymond and Professor Stein had, and what Jax and Professor Stein had, that she'll be unstable. And if they ever detach, that she would go nuclear. And this is what happened, because Jay Jackson goes and cuts all the power and gets Professor Stein and yanks him out of the Soviet professor's body, and she starts to go nuclear, and she explodes. And what the West team was doing this whole time, Sarah had a other mission. If they couldn't save Professor Stein, that she would have to kill him to save the timeline. And she is about to do this, but Rip Hunter tells her not to, because Jay Jackson and Kendra Saunders, Hawk Girl, is there to help them. And then what I just told you happens, and they get Professor Stein back, and they go through the time portal, and while they're in the time stream, Kronos is shooting at their ship, and they get away from Kronos, but a missile winds up hitting them, and they get knocked out of the time stream and into 2046 in Star City. And we see a Ray Palmer's building, and instead of it saying Palmer Technologies, it says Smoke, and they're showing that Felicity renamed the company. And we meet Connor Hawk, and when we see Connor Hawk, we see that he's an African American male, and maybe Connor Hawk in the TV series might be Diggle's son instead of Oliver's, because he didn't look like he was mixed. So the only thing that I can think of is that this is Diggle's son. And what do y'all think? Do y'all think Connor Hawk of the future is Diggle's son? Y'all tell me what y'all think. As always, this Preacher Man R&B signing out. This video is awesome. See y'all.